Welcome to Salt, Sage and Stardust, the podcast where spirit meets real life and intuition leads the way. Every episode, your hosts, Dr. Vicki Haspels and Keryn Rose, dive into the energy of what's shifting in the cosmos, in the collective, and within ourselves. And here we are again. Good morning, Miss Vicki.
Hello, Keryn. How are you today?
Well, besides being a little bit chipper, I'm absolutely fab. Thank you, young lady. How are you?
I'm really well, really well. I am in my van, as you can see. If you're wondering what my background is, we are camped at a special place in Winton in Queensland on a jump up. I wish I could take you outside and show you, but I won't right now. But
One day, maybe one day that'd be
one day, yeah,
wonderful to
absolutely.
give an
And
understanding
yeah,
to our international listeners to just
correct.
go Winton. You know,
Yeah,
I know that he's a West Australian author,
yeah,
but you know, there's a town in Winton. You go, yep.
there is. Yeah, that's correct. So thanks, Keryn. Yeah.
So salt, sage, and stardust. Here we are again. And would you like to share with our listeners what we're going to be talking about today?
Thanks, Keryn. Yeah, we are going to be talking about the word and the feeling and the meaning behind poised, what that feels like, and where we came from, and now what we understand it to be, sitting in the energy of salt, sage, and stardust, because it has brought a new meaning to that word, not only for myself but for Keryn as well. Do you agree with that, Keryn? It's brought a different
Oh,
energy
look,
to it.
it's something that to let our listeners in, I pulled a card a couple of days ago because I was preparing for this, and there's so much that you and I can talk about. And given that it is our intention to support individuals that are living through this, let's be honest, this chaotic world that is external to us. So when we look outside, everything appears to be blowing up, burning up, flooding away, whatever it is, there's chaos all around us. So how can we be the best versions of us? And so I'm really starting to re-engage with my oracle decks, of which I've got many. So I got guidance. I said, right, show me, guys, what are we going to talk about? And I received the Poise card. And I sat with that because I'm thinking, poise, you know, that's something, as you and I were talking before we came online, that our grandmothers would very consciously be. That's how they would look, and that is how they would behave. It was an image. It was quite a visual image for me.
Yeah.
And then sitting with it, these are the words that came up. I'd love to share with you. To be poised is to stand in the still point between movement and stillness, readiness and surrender. It's not passive, it's alert, it's grounded, and it's graceful. It's that moment before a sacred yes or a soul deep exhale. And I sat with
Yeah.
that and I thought, wow.
Yeah. In that, with those words, and I invite our listeners to even rewind it and actually sink into it or feel into those words, because even as you were saying them to me again, I could feel that shift or that feeling about what poised means now with those words. I agree. My grandmother, this is what I, standing like this,
Yeah.
my grandmother was very poised. That's where I first went to. And it was from our little discussion before we started that I didn't realise, as Keryn pointed it out to me, that it actually has taken on a different meaning. When Keryn mentioned it or suggested it, the word poised and the energy of it, I had the same sense that it was something that was a stillness. I couldn't put, I was mentioning, I could not put words to it, but I could definitely feel it. And that it is that sense of stillness in between those 2 points where we are aware that something is changing. However, we can't be in the past or the future. We must remain poised in order for that to take effect and for us to be effective in that moment. And yeah, I encourage you to rewind and listen to those words again, because they will transport you to that moment and the feelings that we're trying to convey with our conversation today.
Poise, poise is an essence. It's an energy
Yeah,
that invites you into the present. It's like to be poised is to be here,
yeah,
and typically we will do something physically.
yeah,
But if we acknowledge the what I'm starting to call the three pillars of our podcast, we've got the salt, which is the earthiness of our gorgeous podcast. We've got the sage, which is really for me the body wisdom that comes through, and the stardust being spirit. Those gorgeous bits
mm,
that typically are above us.
yeah,
So if we look at poise from a salt or earth perspective, it's rootedness.
yeah,
It's where we're planted right here, right now. So the world, as it's swaying around us, we are firm, and there is a calm within us and a strength within us that's soft. It's
yeah,
here we are, and we will flow with and bend with what's going on. Then, from that sage perspective, that body wisdom
yeah.
perspective, our body, it's programmed
It
to be
knows.
poised. When
Yeah,
you think of how we have our posture, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, our body knows what to do for posture.
mm,
It knows how to hold ourselves when we're confident and when we feel safe. It's not a conscious, oh, what do I need to do? It's the body's wisdom
yeah,
that does it and
yeah,
gives us that space. And then our gorgeous spirit perspective of the stardust, it's that trust in divine timing. It's that willingness to almost hover at the threshold of what we are about to do
yeah,
next,
yeah,
knowing that everything has a perfect and divine time frame.
yeah.
And
I
for
like
me,
that.
poise can fit into those three areas very
Yes,
deeply and beautifully.
perfectly into those three areas. And in that moment, as again, we were mentioning before the podcast, is that oftentimes it's a very unconscious moment. We're not aware that we're poised. But I would like to invite everybody to consider that once we start to work on our self-awareness and our connection to our body and our energy and the subtle shifts that take place, we're not always going to recognize that poise, but we will start to recognize when something is shifting. And it's in that moment of presentness that we make the decision for the next moment. Again, whether it's unconscious or whether it's conscious. And as Keryn mentioned, and 100% want to reiterate, is our soul knows what is our next step. It does know. We might perceive it to be, oh, terrible or fantastic, but it is always the right next move. So in that moment of being poised, the decision that we make for the next moment and the next moment is always perfect. Never think that you have to sit with every moment and make that decision before you take the next step. You may feel it sometimes as an afterthought, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or what am I going to do now? But we've already made that decision in that moment without even realizing it. And we can flow with it when we are in communication with that part of us, with that part of our body, with that part of our soul. That is not something that, even though we do it naturally, we can be in tune with it with a little bit of training. That's what we do. Keryn and I do that. We've trained ourselves to be recognizing those moments. I'm not saying that we're perfect and get it all the time, but
I
definitely
love
that.
your use of the word train, my love. It's, I'm wondering, am I going to be a little dolphin here being trained, or am I going to be a little cat being trained. My son's partner walks her cats on lead, and she had to teach them how to do
Yeah.
that. It's for me, it's a no, we simply are reconnecting to that
Yeah.
divine essence that
Yeah.
is us. And it's in that divinity that runs through us that all of this magic happens. It's, when I talk about standing firm on the earth and having
Mm.
that sense of rootedness and that calm, Mother Earth allows us to connect with her and go, I've got you. And it's in that divine knowing that we relax into
Yeah.
who we innately are. And we can love our brains to bits. But the way you and I are talking at the moment, it's the brains can sit in the corner with a good book because we're connecting with hearts. Our
Yes. Yeah.
heart, actually, everything we do runs through our heart.
Yeah.
And I've not really given a lot of thought, but I have this past week thinking if I have a thought, if I'm going to take an action, it's got to run through my heart.
Yeah.
So if I'm not feeling it, it's probably not going to quite work out the way that my brain may have asked me to work it out because it's been a bit clunky.
Yeah.
Everything flows through our heart, and welcome to connection,
Yeah.
which is what you and I are all about. It is
Yeah.
our connection with self.
Yeah.
Because we may be having people out there going, well, poised, I mean, it sounds a bit old fashioned, and indeed, from our age group,
Yeah.
it is something that absolutely was deemed to be a feminine
Yeah.
behavior, not a masculine one. And yet, to be poised, we've grown up in a farming world. From our upbringing perspective, welcome to Australia, it really was very heavily agriculture.
Yeah.
And whoever was out there on the farm, but let me be stereotypical and say the farmers were typically the men of the house, they would be poised simply with the behavior they were doing.
Yeah.
There would have to be that moment between decision and action. They might not describe it as poised, but if I lean into my understanding as I have prepared for this podcast, we've got that moment before, it's almost that in between
Yeah.
moment, um, before the spark allows us to take the action.
Yeah.
Where, magical, yes, and that's a gorgeous word of
Yeah.
mine because we are pure magic. Everybody is doing this. And I suppose I'm inviting people to be aware of the magic of who they are,
Yeah.
that they are holding themselves in a certain way.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, it's magic. Gosh, it's magic.
Well, I wanted to go back to that point of training, and it's correct. It's a very much a doing mind reading uh, connotation. But when I think about it in that context, and I'll get back to that, like that point that you made, is that you and I, we committed to a particular way of being and listening and working with the spirit world because we feel it. We all feel it. If, when those perfect moments of poise, we can feel it. But it can't be, if you would like to work with it on a regular basis, it can't just be a stop, start, stop, start. We commit, well, I'm not going to speak for you, but committed to a regular practice of something like meditation and or walking in nature, or there are many different ways that we can I keep wanting to say the word train. I'm going to stick with that for a bit. We can train ourselves to be in that moment so that the mind does get out of the way and we can sit within the heart, because if we're jumping in and out of it all the time thinking, oh, that was a moment of stillness, that's great, we can sometimes get a bit freaked out when all of a sudden we realize, oh, this chain of events is now happening because in this moment of poise, something shifted. So the brain wants to engage. Well, we can soothe that by channeling everything, as you mentioned, through the heart. And not everybody is au fait with that. They will skip it up to the head, down to the heart. A lot of my the people that I work with, I'll constantly remind them, if you're unsure about something, go back to your heart, and I
Yeah.
give them exercises to do to when they get to that, or to do it on a regular basis, so that it becomes automatic to slip down into the heart. It's just something that, because we're so bombarded with messages of awareness and alertness and don't do this and don't do that, we've forgotten that we can channel everything through here. I think it's like, maybe it's like retraining or reminding. Let's call
Well,
it
I'm going to be
reminding.
cheeky and throw in my gorgeous word of simply reconnecting.
Reconnecting, correct. Yeah,
Reconnecting.
reconnecting.
And
Yeah.
it's, for me, the term reconnecting is acknowledging it already exists.
Yes.
Whereas sometimes when people hear the word train, there can be a little bit, well, certainly for me,
Yeah.
there is a
Yeah.
little bit of a disconnect and it's involving my headspace.
Yeah.
We do not have to train children when they are first born
No.
because everybody, and for those that have known me long enough, I do rabbit on about this. Kids come in only knowing their heart space.
Already. Correct. Yeah.
That is how we naturally
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
So, what you and I do and the work that we do with our clients is simply reconnect them. And often, certainly for me, it's helping them throw out,
Yeah.
it can be the old clothes in the wardrobe, it can be clearing the windscreen, whatever analogy I feel. But as we live life, all this energy we tend to collect and it
Yeah. Yeah.
clouds, it fogs, it
Yeah.
dirties up
Yeah.
that divine connection that is within everybody.
Yes.
It's simply how we're made.
I bet.
And when
Yeah.
we keep that connection,
Yeah.
this poise is innate within
It's
us.
innate.
All
How
right.
about deprogramming rather than training? We are stripping it away. Yeah.
Well, we are. And again,
Yes.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
the rainbow unicorn lollipop girl. I'm going to say we are, gosh, where was I going with that? We are focusing on what we do have.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this
Yeah.
deprogramming, I'm thinking, how about learning new ways?
Yeah.
If we're not going to go with the reconnection.
Yeah.
So the focus is on the positive because
Yeah.
ultimately what you and I are doing, and particularly with this conversation today,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
hopefully people are grabbing it, is it's already there, guys. Don't
Yes.
focus on what you've got to let go of.
No.
Focus on the fact it's already there.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
Let's go find it.
And it's true. Like when I again, when I am working with people, I do call it deprogramming, but it's not. You're right. I do not focus on, well, this is wrong and that's wrong, and this has got to go and that's got to go. It's more saying, well, okay, when you're reconnecting
Hmm.
or connecting with the heart, that deprogramming happens automatically,
Yeah, it
and so
does.
it just falls away automatically. But however, when I and this is I'm going to go back to my own opening up and awareness and how it all worked for me in the beginning, way back.
We're only
It
going back a few
was.
years, not that far.
I'm thinking of
I could see you just winding back the clock. Honey, it's not that far.
no,
It's not that far.
it feels like a whole. I was. I'm sure it's like 3 lifetimes ago in this lifetime. But how that, like every, sorry, when I started to, like, I dived right in because I was connected. I reconnected to that part of me, and I dived right in, and I just loved it, and I immersed myself in it, and I reached a certain point where all of a sudden it reached where my trauma was sitting, and in order to stay connected, which I love because it was keeping me in a place that I understood myself. I wanted to be there, and wanted to remain, like, wanted to stay connected. The the courage that it took to sit with the trauma that was buried so deep. This is the connectedness that kept me going. There were many times over that time where I said, "This is all rubbish. I'm walking away from this. This is too much. This is all just hippie rubbish, bullshit, all that sort of thing. And the thing that brought me back was that I was already I'd already opened that connection, and it brought me back in. So the the commitment to myself of that connected feeling that we talked about,
Absolutely.
that moment, is the thing that has brought me here. I stopped, start. I did. I stopped, start, stop, start, and I reached a certain point where I thought, you know what? I'm going to commit to this, and I don't want to, I know it sounds, I want to say commit, training, deprogram. It sounds really tough and really hard, but it's not. It's like a commitment to the self. But
Absolutely.
this is the thing that I choose for me because it feels and feels the best, and it gives me the most meaning for my life. And within that space, I can live my best life. And so, bringing it back to poised, it's those moments of deciding in that moment, oh, I'm getting goosebumpy, where I had left it behind and everything was like falling apart, worse than falling into it. In that poised moment and that breath between the two, I thought, yes, this is me. And it gave me the courage and strength to stay with that, because you're right, everything just melted away. Connecting to that part of my heart, it melted away. It made sense without even having to make sense. I didn't have to dive into it and work it out. I stayed with my heart, and that's all that mattered, and that's the only thing that meant anything to me. And whenever I move away from it, my mind wants to go blah. Much as I say, I talk to my clients about this, it's back to my heart. What
Oh,
is it that I'm connected to that moment?
welcome to the human existence.
Yes.
We are all this divine spark. In my belief system, we are a divine spark of a greater
Yeah.
source. Call it and label it and name it what you will.
Yeah.
But from the poise perspective, coming back into poise and listening to your sharing, coming back into poise really isn't about forcing anything.
No.
About
No.
softening into it.
Yeah.
It's almost a sacred remembrance
Yeah.
of who we are
Yeah.
beneath, the world's
Yeah.
chaos and swirl and just turmoil.
Yeah.
It's that, again, remembrance, reconnection
Yeah.
of who indeed we are.
Yeah.
So if I can suggest or throw into the ring some ideas as to, okay, we've probably got listeners, and I'm praying we've got listeners out there going, well, how do I do this?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can I, thank you, Mercury retrograde, because that's where we're at. How can we reclaim
Yeah.
our poise?
Yeah.
So a simple pause is brilliant. Literally, stop, breathe.
Yeah.
And in that breath, our mental activity, the volume just stops.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Slows down.
In that breath, we are in a sacred moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And innately, we are made to breathe. And
Yeah.
gosh, I'm still learning. I innately hold my breath. It is simply how I'm made. Some people do it more than others. I do it well. And as a trained singer, it so just did my head in going, no, oh, I'm supposed to breathe now. Yeah. It's that stop. And gently saying to yourself, I am here.
Yeah.
I am safe. I return to my center.
Yeah.
And those words alone have divine essence, and they will do the trick in that moment. You might say, how long do I do it? Hey guys, in that moment, stop, breathe, feel your feet if you so desire, and realize, oh, where are they? Notice your breath. It's
Mm.
that remembrance. Do you like that?
I do. And it's that you're noticing that you are out of that poised moment. You're noticing that you are scattered. Doing that brings that back to an
Yes, doesn't
awareness
it?
of your
Exactly.
heart
Exactly.
down to here. And in that moment, you can make that decision. As in, like, I'm sorry, not even making a decision. I want to wind that back. Sorry, guys. You are in that moment of stillness. All the thoughts fade away into the background.
Well, you are certainly, I will ask you
Yeah.
to bring that comment back in. You are certainly now in a space to make your next right and perfect move,
And to,
whether
whether
it
it's
be
a
a
micro
decision or
decision
whatever.
or whether it's a definite decision. Can I add something to the doing of how to find poise? And again, I am going to talk about this is something that's helped me only recently, and it's something that now I teach, and I love it, and it's very much on the same vein of bringing you back to here. It does require a training to get into it so that you automatically slip into it. And I want to say, let's call it a commitment,
Or a
simply because,
discipline.
or a
That's one of
discipline. Thank
my
you.
big words at
Discipline's,
the
yeah,
moment. A
discipline's better.
discipline.
The reason I say doing things, if you meditate on a regular basis, or if you sit and if you go and take a walk into nature and do something on a regular basis, when these moments of confusion or disconnect happen, you don't have to stop and think and get your book out or get your whatever out and think, okay, what do I do in these moments? You've already trained yourself to go into that space. And that's, I believe, or I know in my heart, those are the things that have kept me here and brought me back to life. I want to keep talking. I'm not talking about anything like unaliving or anything like that at all. I'm talking about back to life, that spark that's in here. When I'm in those moments of confusion, I don't have to rattle through everything and think, oh, what is this? So if you have a practice that you do regularly, like regular meditation or regular walking, where you automatically, or breathe regularly, if you train yourself to do regular breathing when things are out of, sorry, train yourself to breathe and connect to the heart, that will happen automatically when you are out of your poised moment or poised state. Getting to my point. This meditation practice that I now teach, there are two mantras that are perfect for this moment. They do have a meaning, but in this moment, they have no meaning. They just have a resonance.
Uh-huh.
You can use this as either with your breath or instead of. They are so hum and so ma, and all you do is that you rest your thoughts. You don't focus on it. You don't even put it into your heart. You are just giving everything a rest. And while you're resting on this mantra, everything else just takes care of itself because you are actually going down into the heart by resting on it. And so you can use it. I'll just say them with the resonance. It's like so hum and so ma. And my mantra when I do my meditation is so hum, so hum, so hum. And it's that resonance. Not, again, do not focus on it, rest on it. You don't force yourself into anything because when you rest on it and just let it be, everything, you naturally go into that part of you. Much like the breathing, much like the breath. When you start to do the deliberate breathing down into the heart, down into the belly, and start to slow everything down, that breath work, it becomes a natural thing. You don't even have to think about it. Once you go into an out of poised space, because you have done this on a regular basis, you know that makes you feel good. You automatically step into it before you even realize and have to think about it. So that's just another avenue. Affirmations, yes. Breathing, yes. Mantras, yes. All of those things to get you to reconnect, to also to help you to reconnect with the heart and that energy back to poised.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom, my love. You certainly are a meditation guru.
I love my meditation.
I know you do. I know you do. And I'll fess up and just admit I do not find comfortable sitting for long periods and meditating,
Mhm.
in the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
I do, and if people want to check in, there are different breathing patterns
Yes.
that you can do. But to take it right back to simplicity,
Mm.
stop and consciously breathe in and be aware that you
Yeah.
are taking a deep breath in. And that is going to physiologically have a positive impact on you and your
It
body.
does.
It's that simple for
Yeah.
anybody that's listening.
It's an absolutely physical, yeah, it's a physical effect.
We don't have to go out and study
Mm.
meditation. We are here to offer suggestions,
Yeah.
absolutely, and to sit and listen to some music that simply stills the mind. What type
Music is
of music is that,
perfect.
Keryn? Hey guys, yes, we can make some suggestions, but you'll know
Yeah.
when you find that piece of music. You'll simply know because suddenly you go, ah,
It does. You sink into it. It takes you away from the mind, the chatter, and puts you straight into your heart. Music is perfect for that because it speaks to the emotions. It
well,
speaks to
music
the
is
heart.
simply energy that we
Yeah.
can hear.
Yeah.
Color is energy that we can see.
See. Yeah.
Words are energy that we can hear also.
Yeah.
And everything is energy. It's Yeah, everything is energy, and as I like to say, everything is connected.
Yeah.
It really, really is. So, okay,
Us-
getting
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
reclaiming,
Yes.
our poise. Um, we've talked about pausing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to bring us into the present.
Yeah.
The next thing I'm going to suggest is to ground through our physical body. So, touch something that's solid. And the fact that you come in contact with something that is solid, whether it be a tree, whether it be a wall, whether it be putting your hands on your heart
Heart.
chakra, on
Yeah.
your chest,
Yeah.
then you'll find that you probably will start to gently move, unbeknownst to you, because we're not made to stand still. We are just seriously not made. And I take my hats off to all the guards, and I'm going to use your gorgeous word, that are trained to stand still.
Yeah.
It energy moves.
Yeah.
The innate state of energy is one of movement. So how, and I'm thinking of the guards at Buckingham Palace, because that's just the vision I get, with a guard that's just got to stand just rod perfectly still.
Mm.
That takes effort. And that
Yeah.
absolutely is a training, because you're asking the body to do something that it's not
It's
made to do
not meant to
naturally.
do.
You
Yeah.
are going against its natural
Mm.
state. It's a bit like poor people that have to work at night. And forgive me
Yeah.
for using the word poor, but I feel for you because you are going against your body's natural state. Is it possible? Yes. Does it come with potential physical challenges? Look, yes, the potentiality of going against what the body is naturally. After a while, you chances are you may be paying the price. Can you work in that energy? Absolutely.
Mm.
It's that consciousness again.
Yeah.
Going,
Yeah.
okay, Bod, this is what we're doing. How can I support you in doing it? But that idea of simply putting your hands on your chest, OMG,
It's
the
so natural.
impact
Yes.
that it has,
Yeah.
because it's a natural state and it has some type of remembrance,
Mm.
because you can't not go, wow, it's
It's
just there.
it's true.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and then as I said, you finally, you will find that you start to gently sway in the hip area, and
Mhm.
suddenly that gorgeous movement,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
curve that run, you know,
yeah,
Again, we're connecting. That gorgeous sound wave has a natural curve to it.
yeah,
We're reconnecting to the magic of who we are.
yeah. There's so many. You're evoking so many images and feelings uh, when you talk about the different ways to connect, like to the heart by touching something and feeling something. And again, I want to invite anyone who's listening, when they think about, even before they think about, oh, sorry, when they go to touch a tree, sorry, or they're touching their heart, to take that next moment and actually feel into it. When you're touching the tree, you're feeling into it. I know that we naturally do that anyway, because the intention is to connect with that. But I want you to also, like 10 times it or 1,000 times it, by really feeling into it as well, and allow the body to just soak up that feeling, just from the top of your head to down to your toes, because that's what you'll remember the next time you touch your heart. You build on that feeling and build on it and build on it, and
Absolutely.
it arrives just like that, because you are connecting to that innate. It's like it is an energy. It's an innate sense that's within us that connects us
Yeah.
to that moment.
And the fact we're alive, it's
Yes.
there. It's there.
Mm.
Okay, I'm going to throw another one into the park
Yes.
here. Re-anchor in trust with a capital
Mhm.
T.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so affirm your connection, acknowledge your connection to something that is greater than you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to assume that those that are listening or watching us on YouTube to what we are sharing has some level of awareness within them as to this bigger part of them.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're listening or watching us, that part is vibing within them.
Yeah.
And I'm asking or inviting, to use your beautiful word, to reaffirm, yes, I am. Whether it be, yes, I am connected to an energy
Yes.
greater than I.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am connected to my soul that is within me.
Yeah.
Yes, I am connected to my divine wisdom. Nobody directed the egg and the sperm when they came together to create me as to where to go. There was a divine wisdom within those two bits
Yeah.
that created who I am. And
Yeah.
I am saying, yes, I am a part of this. Because
Yeah.
poise isn't necessarily found in certainty, but it's trusting
It
your next
is.
right and perfect step.
Yes. It is that. It's that perfect moment, that perfect stillness, where everything is possible, and everything, I want to say, not or impossible, or can happen. Like, not only the possible that we know, but the impossible that we can't imagine.
That unknown.
Unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. I couldn't find the right word.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah,
is an unknown.
it's the unknown, and sometimes I'll go back to the unknown can be uncertainty, but
It
by
can also
anchoring
be potentiality.
potentiality, yeah,
Okay.
and
And that's
yeah,
how I see it. An
yeah,
unknown is a wow, not a
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God.
Mm. And sometimes though, that it comes with excitement, and then the oh my god comes directly afterwards. So anchoring it in, as you mentioned, anchoring it in that moment with I am, reinforces and keeps the momentum going of that excitement, of that potential, of that. Because I can, every once in a while, I'm not going to put it down on, but every once in a while we'll get anxious about it, because anxiety and excitement can go hand in hand. And
Absolutely.
sometimes we think, oh, I'm a bit anxious about this now. What if, warning, warning, warning. It's like anchoring it in that I am connects it to that positivity, that potential, that this the original excitement, the original knowing, even before the excitement of what's to come, the goodness in everything keeps us grounded in that connection. to that other world, the spirit part of us that knows, anchoring into that energy of spirit.
It's important to remember that with all of these wonderful practices that you can have throughout the day, yes, we're human. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, we can have moments of doubt pop up.
Yeah.
And yet there's a fire within us that says, no, I can do this.
Yes.
And it's that moment that I love having something that is physical for me,
Yes.
whether I go and grab some guidance from an oracle deck,
Yep.
whether I go and make myself a cup of tea.
Yep.
Forgive me, it's so cold at the moment. I'm drinking tea. It's that realization that because I am human, I do appreciate the physical
Yep.
of the that helps me anchor into this
Yep.
divine moment, this
Yep.
divine essence. But poise, it doesn't doesn't mean that we're never going to wobble and we're never going to question.
Yeah.
Simply means that we know how to return to
Yes.
who we are again and again and
Yep.
again and again. And how many times are you going to be doing this? You might say, Keryn. I said, probably until you take your last
This
breath.
many times.
It's
Yeah.
it's that return to, and where do you
Yeah.
go, Keryn? You're returning to your sacred center.
Yeah.
And again, if you don't like the word sacred, inject whatever word
Yeah.
reminds you of the awesome essence that you are. And for those watching, forgive this, the gorgeous sun coming up over here in WA.
Yeah.
It's it is a constant,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's like, I can, my gorgeous son, bless him, my love, every inch of his 6'2", 6'3" body. Um, he says, Mum, he says, I can't handle not doing anything. And I said, mate, you're always doing. I said, even when you're dead, I said, your body's going to be doing something as it goes back to
Yeah.
Mother Earth. And he looked at me and he just shook his head. Oh, Mum. Well, mate, everything is on the move all the time.
Yeah.
And to that poise, that moment of what is my next move, it might simply be to breathe. And we
Mm-hmm.
poise. That there is a moment before we take a breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even then, there
Even
is
then,
that moment.
moment.
And
Yeah.
you go, wow. And then when we exhale, there is a moment between the
Mm-hmm.
inhale and the exhale.
Yeah.
Is that poise? I'm going to suggest yes. I am going to call that a moment of poise.
Yeah.
As the body physically shifts between the bringing in of the in breath and the helping out of the out breath.
Out breath. Yep.
It's that moment, that moment of nowness, that
Mm-hmm.
moment of presence.
Yep.
And, I continue to say, as you've been inviting people, consciously connect to what you are doing. And it's not a mental activity, it's an awareness. When I use the word consciously connect, it's that awareness to go, wow, look at what I just did. Certainly bring in gratitude. Wow, because we are wow creations. We
Yes. Yeah.
absolutely are wow creations.
Yeah.
It's just, oh,
I love that. Be impressed by yourself. Be like, because
yes. Oh, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
did
But it
that.
is it is a
Yeah.
continual thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I choose to be excited by the
Yes.
fact that I can and I get to do it
Yeah.
again and again and again. I
Yeah.
don't have to. It's
Yeah.
not a burden.
No.
Well, I choose not to see it as a burden.
Yeah.
I
No.
choose
No.
to see the magic in it. And for those listening, yes, it is a choice.
Yeah.
Everything in life is a choice. And
Yeah.
please own your choices. But no, if you don't like the choice you've just made, make another one.
Make another choice. You're not. Yeah. Exactly. You're not obliged to.
It's as simple
Yeah.
as that.
And it's
You buy a
yeah.
car you don't like. Well, I'm going to be bold and say, sell it and buy another one.
Yep.
Who says you have to stay with it? Maybe you ask yourself, what is my next right and perfect move? I'm not enjoying this car. And you
Yeah.
go, okay. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. I like that. That you pointed out. It's not a burden. How many? I know that a lot of times on my journey, I don't get it as much. Well, maybe a little bit from just feedback and so forth. Is that this is too hard? Sometimes we paint ourselves into a uh, we have to do it this way mindset, and sometimes that way works. Like, you might want to meditate every day, or you might want to take a walk every day, but often, like more often than not, that will start to also evolve into something else. Because as we evolve and get understand what our connection is, the way we connect to that and evoke that feeling inside of us evolves with that feeling. And every time, what like I have to say this because a kid is in my mind to say that when you're talking about connecting, like go and touch a tree, heart. The other thing I want to, like a necklace, if you have something that's precious to you, you can hold it around your neck like a crystal or a cross or some sort of symbol that means something to you.
Like my Tesla plate here.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It evokes that memory or that realization, that remembrance of this is what I'm connected to. This is who I am. This is my feeling. And it doesn't become a burden then. And I think sometimes people get caught up in, I've got to do it this way and this many times. And we create a prison
Absolutely.
within ourselves. And then it's like, oh, well, this is just all rubbish. I'm going to walk away. It's all too hard. And allow yourself to be flexible. That's what, even in that moment of being poised, you have a choice. You have a moment where you can say, what do I want to do here? What is best for me right now? You have that moment to say, and that's that decision or that choice. You can choose differently. Oh, I'm going to go listen to some music. Oh, that's not actually working for me. Well, what else was going to work for me in this moment? Because every moment is different. And so don't lock yourself into one thing. I guess that's what, maybe that's where that came from. It's like, and to not think about. And I'm bringing these points up because these are things that have happened to me over the years and things that I've experienced when I've watched other people go through this process of connection. Just as it's not a bug, it's a feature of the process of this evolution and connection to the self and to the soul self and the spirit world or the universe world, however you want to define it. And
Look,
so,
we've only got to look at or look to Mother Earth to
yeah,
appreciate the variety
yes,
of life. We
yes,
have seasons, even within a 24-hour process.
yes,
Sun
yes,
does its bit and the moon does its bit.
yeah,
We girls have our cycles. Once we get to a certain age in our physical life, that
mm-hmm.
starts up, and then we get to a certain age in our physical life where it shuts down.
That's down, yeah,
Everything is about cycles, and I consciously can find myself battling because I love a schedule. I schedule, yes, structure, and
okay,
I have lived my life feeling very safe within a structure or a security. It gives me security. So, if I'm going to cook a meal, I need a recipe. It's just full stop. I don't I don't have the capacity, nor have I invited myself to just pull things together and create
mm,
a meal. And some people simply do that. I will ask, where's the recipe? And I'm great at following the rules and the regulations. It's simply who I am. However, in my wise old age, now that I'm of sage age, it's the awareness that I have a toolbox, an energetic toolbox, that depending on how I'm feeling, I've got a number of different things that will work. I
yeah,
mean, for example, my gorgeous grandchildren, when they go and have their sleep, have a cuddle buddy that they sleep with.
yeah,
And it's rare that they have the same one every sleep. And they've got a plethora of cuddly toys, which pleases my heart. I just love cuddly toys. And I've still got a huge suitcase full of all my teddy bears. Yeah, and that they'll, depending on and I'm sure that it's based on how they're feeling, they will go and pick their cuddle buddy and jump into bed with them
Yeah.
because it's doing what it needs, because it's the feels. That feels right. And it's
Yeah.
always a soft, cuddly toy.
Yeah.
It's not a truck, it's not a car, it's the soft, cuddly toy. And I go, yeah, that's their innate trust.
Yeah.
And guaranteed there's going to be a moment of poise before they make that decision. But they're
Yeah.
not conscious of that. But you and I are here to ask people to be conscious that they
Conscious.
have within them
Yeah.
this ability that's probably happening far more often than they're aware.
Yeah.
So to just go, wow, that's pretty awesome. And
Yeah.
in that moment, if it brings, well, it will bring you into the present. In that moment, you are right here, right now. And
Yeah.
that's where the magic lies.
Yeah.
That's the only point
Yeah.
that magic lies, right here, right now.
In that moment. And it
Mm.
is possible to be aware of it. It is possible to tune into it
Yeah,
and work with it.
it's, oh, look, gosh, you and I could wax
I
lyrical
know.
about this idea of being poised
Yeah.
for a long, 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 long time. I've enjoyed this, honey. Thank you for
Well, it's been
sharing
good. Yeah. A
thoughts
great conversation. Thanks, Keryn.
on
Yeah.
this. It's, yeah, look, everybody has it within them.
Yeah.
We are simply bringing it to everybody's attention to go,
Yeah.
okay, this is what lies within you.
And what does it mean to you as a listener? What does it mean to you? Find your
Absolutely.
way. Yeah. Yeah.
It's it's asking yourself, yes, what does it actually mean
Yeah.
to me?
And what
And
is your way?
maybe where do I feel it?
Yes. Yeah.
If it is a case of, okay, it's not, we're not inviting people to overthink this by any
No.
stretch of the
No.
imagination. But to ask yourself, okay, where in my life do I feel most poised?
Yes. Yeah.
And be prepared to be amazed.
Yeah. Start to observe it. Start to observe your life. Where are you poised? Where are you poised in your life? Start to recognize it. That's where the most power lies, as you said, Keryn. The most power lies in that moment. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, on that note,
Yes.
maybe we bid everybody a poised filled day.
Yeah.
Look, Vicki, thank you, honey, for joining me from
Thank
over
you,
in Winton.
Winton.
And hopefully, we've gone a bit beyond the 4 or the 5 degrees that it was this morning. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cup of tea. I've been drinking a beautiful tea here. And thank you, sunshine, for shining on my face.
Yes,
I
beautiful.
may wish to look at a different positioning in my little room. I do love this room in winter. It just is, it's the only room in the house that fills with sunshine. So who am I to
Yeah,
argue and
correct.
complain? So on that note, my love, lots of love. And to the listeners, thank you kindly. If you have any questions on what Vicki and I have shared, please drop us a line. Certainly, please comment on what you have heard today.
Yeah.
And would love you to hit the subscribe button and share with others, share with your friends that you think, I know someone that just may enjoy, as in an I enjoy, listening to what Vicki and Keryn have shared. So go out, enjoy your day, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Karen. Bye.